Hello and welcome to Arkansas Style. I am your host, Nicole Neiman. We are starting this week off with another great show and another group of amazing guests. Hannah Baker with the Ambassador Animals program at the Little Rock Zoo will join us today with a few turtle friends to tell you and us how we can meet these little guys in person at their Save the Turtles event. And Karen and the Book Nook ladies will be back to break down the opening chapters of Shelby Van Pelt's novel, Remarkably Bright Creatures, a story full of heart and humor. We'll also meet with the president and VP of Origami Sake, or Arkansas's first sake brewery, for a little taste of what will be hitting the shelves very soon. But before all of that, Heather Boschke is luring us back into the Joy Corner, not unwilling, I might add, for an all-important conversation about the powers of the universe. Let's check it out. It's time to invite you back into our Joy Corner, where our girl guide Heather Boschke navigates life for us. Today we're talking about the almighty woman, the universe. Who is she?
She just never lets us down. And in the past, we've talked about being open to the invitations of the universe. And basically, what that means is believing and trusting that the plan for your life is so much bigger and better than you could have ever imagined it for yourself. So we are all like these little antennas that are tuned into different things. And our antennas need to be in receive mode. This means we cannot be in transmit mode. And when we're in transmit mode, stuff's coming out, right? We're busy, we're talking, we're just consumed with other things and doing activities. And so we don't want to be in transmit mode. We have to stop and slow down in order to tune in and receive those invitations from the universe. And being open also means that we are surrendering. The reality is we are in control of very little in our lives, despite the illusion of control that sometimes we like to think we have. The opposite of surrender is resistance and force. And so think about the places in your life where maybe you're experiencing some challenges. Odds are those are the exact places where you need to surrender the most. When we surrender, we stop trying to force things and we just let them be. And listening to the universe, this means that we're like flowing with the current, right? We're in a sailboat. We're flowing with the current of life, and it's living your life with open palms instead of closed fists. And you can physically feel that difference. So if you close your fist, you're cut off. It's forced. There's pressure. And when you open your palm, you can feel relaxed and you're open and you're free. And you're literally ready to receive.
I like that analogy of being a receiver and that I'm transmitting. I'm constantly throwing stuff out there and I'm not quiet enough to get it in return. That's a nice thought. So these invitations from the universe, what can they look like?
Yes. Well, the cool thing about these invitations is that we all get them in different ways. And so some of the ways that we can receive these invitations, the first is just like your gut feel. You know, you're about to go out and you're like, you know what? I just don't have a good feeling about this. Or that sixth sense that some people have. Other people might get an actual image that shows up in their mind. Maybe it's a person they haven't thought about in a while, or a destination, or an activity. Other people will hear an actual voice in their head. That's what happens to me. So yes, I have voices in my head. An invitation may also come in the form of a dream or that feeling of deja vu, like you've been here before or that you've done something before. That's the universe trying to get your attention. And we also should pay attention to what's called angel numbers. So angel numbers are repeating number sequences, and 1111 or 1111 is an angel number. The ones signify new beginnings, an invitation for something new. And when you see it, it's a reinforcement that you are on the right path. And I've got a couple of real life examples on both those things. So when I first started my marketing business a couple of years ago, in the first few weeks, I swear every time I looked at the clock, it was 11:11. And at one point I mentioned it to my husband and I was like, hey, this is really weird, but I feel like it's always 11:11. And he just looked at me and said, yeah, that's been happening to me a lot too. So that was a big sign. I'm seeing 11:11 a lot. And then my other universe message, I mentioned that they usually come to me as voices. So about 13 years ago, I was engaged to someone else. We were supposed to get married. There was a date, there was a dress. We were 4 months out. And there was one night we were out together, and I literally felt someone was screaming in my ear, "You cannot marry this person. This is not the life you want." The next day, I ended the relationship and the engagement, and that put me on a direct path to my husband. We've been together 11 years now, and it was the very best decision of my life. But at the time when I heard that, "You cannot marry this person," it was like, well, what am I going to do? I'm 4 months out. What will happen to the dress? Like, I didn't even think about that. All I knew was I was getting a clear message, and I had a decision to act. So whether it's a literal voice or an image that pops up in your head or that feeling of deja vu, do not ignore it.
Girl, that requires an awful lot of trusting the universe, but I can see how the outcome, it can be better than you could have even imagined for your own self. That's pretty incredible. Are there some ways that we can fine tune our antenna so that we can be open to receive these signs or voices?
Yes. And you said it best when you said trust the universe. And one of the best ways to stay open, to stay in receiving mode, we also have to trust ourselves. Miracles will unfold with ease when we move into a state of trust. This also means that we can't always be looking outside ourselves for opinions and validations and what other people think. We have to stop doing that so we can look inward and trust our own voice. Trust the hunches that we're receiving, the voice in our heads telling us to contact someone or pick that book up or take that trip you've been wanting to take, or that you're like, I don't even know why I want to go to South America, but it's calling me. Stuff like that. That is not random. The second thing that you can do to help stay open is meditation. So practicing being still in the present moment helps to clear away all that noise so you can better receive those invitations. And when we're in constant motion and movement, we are the equivalent of like an overstuffed mailbox where nothing can get in, which means we cannot receive any messages. And lastly, we have to remember that control is an illusion and we have to let go. You cannot push or force or even plan your best life. And there's that quote, right? When we make plans, God laughs. So right? That's so true. It's like, oh, that's not going to happen. You're going to get married in 4 months? No, you're not. And so really just think how you can't plan your best life. Consider the fact that your best life is actually something you've never imagined. And Nicole, in so many ways, you are proof of this. So let me ask you, did you ever plan on living in Arkansas?
This has worked out way better than I could have imagined for myself, for sure. What's incredible, Heather, is just having this conversation with you, just reminding us to just be open and to relax. Open palms, not closed fists. Physically, I'm starting to actually feel my body feel like it's open and it's able to receive instead of transmit. Like always, you have just incredible perspective on how to live our best lives. It's been wonderful to see you. Thank God the universe brought me to you.
Likewise, sister. Open palms and right to you.
There you have it. Be open to the universe. She is quite grand and has big plans for you, so palms open. Are you an animal lover, even if it's not the furry kind? Well, coming up next, the Little Rock Zoo has a charming visitor to help us entice us to visit the zoo this summer. Stick around, you're watching Arkansas Style.